Hello everybody, this is Joseph Propati, and I'm going to be doing an unboxing of my cards that I ordered for Dungeon Hack. So what I did was I took all the cards, converted them so they would fit in the standard size format, which is 2.5 by 3.5, and it ended up being 162 cards, but this covers all the cards, which means even the character cards were converted into cards, and you can make a board out of the character cards. So this has everything in it. So I haven't opened it up, just got it in the mail today. As I said, I went through Printer Studios, which it gets mailed in from China, I think it is. Actually, this says customer service through San Francisco. But I think the cards are actually made in China. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and this is the first printing I've ever done. So, I mean, I've had other cards made through Printer Studios, but this is the first, I'd say, test sample that I've had for Dungeon Hack. So let's go ahead and see what we got. As I said, it's 162 cards that will make up the game. Now, the biggest thing I wanted to find out was centering, how I did with the cards. Oh, and I could tell right off the bat, these are going to be off center, so I'm going to have to talk to them about it. But you can see right here, you've got a white line, so they're not cutting these correctly. So, but the spell, this is the logo side, so that's 162 cards. Let's take the top off. And I think what I'll do is I'll break these into their groups. So we'll take the spell cards first, and then I'll show each one. So here are, and I hope you don't get a glare, so I'll try and tilt it a little bit. So these are the spell cards and the backs. These are the new backs and logos that I created. So these came out pretty nice. I mean, they're centered somewhat. There's a little bit of a thicker edge to the left side and the right, but they all look pretty consistent based on the spell logo. Now let's take a look at the cards itself. So if we'll just take one right now. So we have our top and our border, and it's pretty good. It's actually centered pretty well. I've got the full banner image in, nothing's cut off. The text is it's nice and readable. Don't have to put my glasses on, so that's kind of nice. I made these icon images a little bit smaller, so you could still put the dice on it, but the cards are actually made so you can put cubes on it. So these are pretty nice. So invisibility, we've got recharge spell, web spell, and these cards, they were all made, they're like the 310, I think, or something. They're linen, so you can see this little pattern. And they're really not, I mean, that's one thing about Printer Studios, is that they've got some good weight to it. They're thick. They're easy to shuffle, and they just feel really nice in your hand. The graphics came out really nice. I mean, I'm very pleased with the spell cards. They are just beautiful. So these are the spell cards, which these are nice. Okay, I like that. So let's take a look at the quest cards. Let's see. All right. So we have, these are our the quest logo. Again, I'm pretty happy with the centering of the logo. You got the dark and the light, so it kind of gives a little bit of an illusion of off center, but it looks pretty good to me. And they're all consistent. I don't see any that are out of whack. So we'll take a look at the actual text on here. Now this is going to be a little bit smaller, so some people will be okay, some will need glasses. But if we go through, we have our 1 through 9 quests. I tried to add as much information as I could, but without, trying to make the font teeny tiny. But it is readable. The graphics are nice on it. I like the new border, the wood image border. So these, yeah, I like these. These came out really nice. Secret Room, Wandering Eye, Devil's Spawn, Widow's Request. And like I said, a lot of these were updated and changed to clean up text. But again, just very nice. They did a great job on the quest cards. Alright, so we've got our door cards. Now there's 10 door cards. And I did a new logo. So this is kind of the generic will be the logo that you'll see consistent with all the cards. I have this specific font. I used a dual image split with this banner. The centering's pretty good. I wanted it tight. I wanted to get as much information, or I wanted it right on the edge, and that did. It came out really nice. They did a good job on these. If I take a look at all these, they should be pretty consistent. And that's really where it takes the time. It really, you have to just manipulate the size of the background piece, this border piece, and then where your text is going to be. Printer Studios, it's just good and bad when you're creating these. But let's take a look at these. So I did something a little different. I created the image and blended in with this side of the banner. Now some of these, the text, some people are going to go, wow, the text is tiny. But now I at times need glasses and I can read these. Now these are brand new to the game also. These, and I can tell, you can see that you have different shading. And that's because when I created these new doors, I have some that act like monsters. Like you'll see this one, Monster Door, which will play on the right side. So you see your shading light to dark. Everything's really nice and centered. I really like that. The text came out nice. There's my icons. The image quality is great. I mean, Printer Studio did a great job. And here's your level of the monster based on this door. And then you'll have puzzle doors which go on the left side, and that's the number of rounds it'll take as it works its way down. So you have your image, your font, and the size of the font. It's readable. I had to kind of shrink some things down because I wanted to get it in this banner. But I'm very happy with these. So Poison Door, again, this left side. Then we have another Monster Door. Can only be attacked by these specific weapons. Then we got a Magic Door, which only a wizard can handle. Very happy with how the graphics came out on these. So it's cool. You have this consistency with doors that are on the left and then doors that are on the right with this light to dark. Another Monster Door, and each one has its own image. But yeah, these, I'm really happy with these. The centering's nice. Nothing got cut off. The banners you can see throughout the whole image, and I'll have to get pretty detailed in my inspection, but they all look like they're pretty centered doors. So those are the door cards, and we'll look at, let's go look at, we got a lot of treasure cards. Here's the Dungeon Cell and Rescue card. So that, if we look at how a game board is, right, we have our rescue, so this we have down here. Let's do the traps real quick. So we have all of our trap cards. Again, we have our consistency with this new logo for each type of card, traps, monsters, everything. We take a quick look. They all look pretty centered, nothing cut off. I like that. I like the color tone right up to the edge, which I'm happy with. And if we look at our cards, just like the doors, blended that into the banner. Text is kind of tight, you know, but I've got everything. I got victory points, I got the text, what you need. Definitely the graphics, the image came out really nice. The icon's a little bit smaller, but you can still place the dice on the cards. Yeah, just wow, they did really a wonderful job with these. So, fire trap, pit traps when it could put you in the dungeon. Arrow traps. So yeah, these came out really nice. So the traps are nice. Then we have our poison cards. You'll notice, I think if I did it, even though the paladin cannot be poisoned or I cannot be diseased, I still put it because I wanted them all consistent. I wanted to have it, you know, poison, disease. So that's the new logo for those cards. But you'll see that everything's, you know, looks pretty good. Here's paladin. See, paladin is immune to disease, so it can only be poisoned. Then you have the other characters that can be poisoned. And again, linen cards, very nice. Just, you know, Printer Studio, it just has a really nice weight to their card, and thickness, and the linen makes it nice and smooth. So here's the poison disease, and then we have, this is a victory point card, which are point tracker. That one's shading, it's a little off, but I can play with the centering on that. That's probably me on that one, but I'll verify on the image. Put that one aside. Then we have these are all of our quest magic items, and I wanted them to have a specific logo so you could put them off to the side, and when you get that quest, you'd know, okay, I know, I'll just look through here and I'll find out what it is. So it gives you very specific, quest number 9 magic item. And you know that this is the specific magic item for the quest number 9. You know, you got your victory points, tells you the description of the item, what it can do, what happens if you roll 5 or 6, you know, out of charge. And I'll be going through all the text, making sure that everything's good. But the image on these, pretty consistent. I used, I think on a couple of this little smaller, a little larger box, but most of these have a consistent size image box. Some that might be a little bigger is because I wanted the image to stand out, or the text was a little smaller, didn't need as much. But again, I'll be going through, and this is just my test copy. So I'll be looking at these and seeing what I can do to, you know, clean up anything. Like here you have this consistency with quest, here, and then when you get to some of these, it's up a little higher, and you know, but that's because of the icon that need to be used. So there's the quest cards, and then we have our treasure cards, and there's a lot of treasure cards, because treasure cards consist of the treasure chest, which is a lot of the gold, and I did, so people know, I added in a new 500 gold piece. There's just one of these, so and I had to limit a certain amount because of the count of 162. The next, if I would have gone to 180, that would have been the next amount, and it would have raised the price on them. So again, here's the new icon for treasure, for the logo, and you know, very consistent, which is nice. Again, I'll look through all these to make sure, but let's take a look. All these treasure chests are going to be very consistent, except for the value will change, so those will be all the same. Also, I made sure that when I did victory points, I based it on the amount of gold. So these don't just have a 1 or 2. This has, you know, 500 gold. So you can see right off the bat, you just had to add 100 or you add 50. And then we have our actual treasure items. These can be magic and one-use items. But so here's Potion of Creation. And these I want to be consistent too, with title, description, what icons are used, and text below, which allowed me to play a little bit with what text is needed, but it's consistent with where everything is at. So when you look at things, you know that you're looking at treasure items. And these are randomly drawn, unlike magic items, which go with quests. That's why these will all be shuffled and placed in one deck. But yeah, very, very happy with the centering. The banner is centered. Nothing's cut off. but I wanted it to go very close to the edge because I needed to give as much space in here to put the text and everything. Otherwise, everybody will be playing this game with glasses, and I didn't want that. You know, as it is, I can read this, you know, and I'm getting to the point where I need glasses. So these are all the new treasure cards. And then when we get into, the cool thing is monster cards. So let's get all these. There's a lot, because you got group 1, 2, and 3 monster cards. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to show the boss cards. So definitely a lot of monster cards to deal with, and we'll look through these pretty quick. So again, there's the monster logo. And this is consistent with all. So now, you know, there's nothing on the logo side. You shuffle them all together. Once you get to, you know, you pass through the first group. But I can see these all look pretty consistent, which is kind of nice. It's yeah, they did a really good job on the center of the banner. Even though I have to set this all up and graphically get everything the right width and dimension, but the cut is really nice, and the edge is very clean. I don't have these partial cuts or angled cuts. They're rounded over, which is very nice. So let's look at some of the monsters. So here's our information. We have a level 5 monster. It's in group 3, large ogre. So we have our graphics on it, which came out really nice. Probably a little darker. I could probably lighten that up, but I think a lot of these, that's one of the things with printer studios, they do come out a little bit darker. But your information, your victory points, Mindbender. Yeah, these just came out beautiful. The graphics, and then just so that I can point these out, these ones are the quest monsters. Even though they're going to be shuffled in regularly, these will come up randomly. You know, if you have this quest card, or depending on how we do the quest, if you just say, hey, you can choose from all 8, and then whatever comes up you play against. But you'll see these ones that have a little different color. See that shading? A little bit more of a reddish. These are quest monsters. So quest 9, quest 7, quest 8. And then you know that if you have those quests, then you have specific items you can get if you destroy these monsters. So again, a little different color. We're still on, so these are all group 3 monsters, the Death Knight. I tried to do as much centering as I could for the image to give as much room for the text and to make it as large as I can for the font, because I wanted you to be able to read it. Because some of these, you know, they do have a lot of text, you know. Let's see. You know, you have your special defense. A Kobold Wizard's got a few pieces of information. Some of these will have more because they have special abilities. Special attacks, special defenses. Some actually have both. Like here, special attacks, fire attack, special defense, immune to fire, dragon cobalt. Then we get into these are all group 2, and then we have a lot of the group 1, which, you know, you shuffle these in their own little deck, play through all these, and then everything gets shuffled together. 1, 2, and 3 groups. But I'm looking at the borders. A little bit thick on one side. This is getting close to the edge, but I have to look at my image and make sure that if I just need to push it over a little bit just to verify, because they look consistent with how close they are to the border edge and how much more is on this side. Now it's not a huge deal. I think the cards still look beautiful, and I would be happy with that. But I could just tweak it just a little bit. And since all the monster cards are using the same border, it would be one tweak, and I could tweak them to all. So these are the monster cards with the new monster logo, which is very cool. These, yeah, the graphics just came out really nice. So that's our group 1, 2, and 3 monsters. And now we get to the big bosses. All right, so now I've created, I don't know, I talked a little bit about it. So the Red Dragon now has, Red Dragon and the Lich King now have 6 cards. And this was going to be one of the big things I really wanted to see, because you have an image that's one image. And then when you lay it out, the tough thing is you have to overlap, so when you put it together, it actually looks like a single monster. Now if I can, let's see if I can get these correct. Let's see here. So when you look at this, you have now 6 cards you can use to create a monster, the boss monster, which is the red dragon. And oh man, it came out, it was very close. You can see now when you look at this image, and I'll have to do a little bit of tweaking, but I wanted everything so when you lined it up, it looked like the full image. And the hard part about it is you have to manipulate each image individually, expand them, because when they do their border and their bleed and cut, you have no idea where those are going to match when you put 2 cards together because there's so much overlap. So you kind of have to play with it, and you can see that the card actually overlaps to about right here. So there's probably about 1/8 of an inch overlap. And then as well, when you look down here, this could probably be the same thing. About right there. And right there. So that's the true image of the red dragon. And that's if you're fighting all 4 cards. So what I have to do is I have to kind of shrink it a little bit on these cards so that when you set them actually side by side, the image gives the full representation of the red dragon. And again, you could say, I want to fight a full-on red dragon with all 6 cards, or you can say, you know what, I'm not doing too good at my victory points, I'll just fight a 4-card dragon, which is really cool. And that goes along with the other big boss, the Lich King. So same thing, 6 cards, but this is a little bit, now he has, it's 4, 3, and 2 instead of 5, 4, and 3. But we'll see how well this lined up. So if we put these together, again, like I said, it was not easy to figure. You have to guesstimate where it's gonna come together, and you can see it's very close. I'm very happy with the head. I'm amazed that worked out. There's a little bit here that could be worked on, but you could see that if everything was butted up next to each other, everything would line up perfect. And you have just slight overlap, like this could come up just a little bit and match. So that's a big thing that I'll be doing, is making these modifications. So looking at these cards, looking at the images that I created for Printer Studio, and then just tweaking a little bit. So when you lay all 6 cards out, it gives you a nice clean image, entire image of the Lich King. And again, when you're playing this boss, you could say, I'm just going to play a 4-card boss. It's, you know, I'll do a, what's that, 10-14, or I could say, you know what, I'm on a 18-point Lich boss. And then, you know, it's just a harder fight. So these are some of the new things I did with the boss cards, and how they're now up to 6 cards. And then we have our quest monsters. These do not get, since, you know, they say quest, these do not get shuffled in. These are the ones that you will set aside, and when you actually turn over a quest tile, a dungeon tile, you will pull these off the side and then play that on the board. So that's why they're a little different color, and that's why they also have a quest monster. So you'll notice that we had some random ones, and then you have some that are specific to quests, so they will only come up if the quest tile is pulled. So like I said, you do not mix these in with the other monster cards. And then we have, this is specific to quest 9. These are certain specific items for the Widow's request quest, the ring. So that one, you would pull this up if you had the quest. So again, stays off to the side. And, you know, yeah, the image, everything's centered. It's very nice. Like the color. Now we get to the core. These are the character cards. All right. And again, I had no idea how these were going to come out, so this is me checking the first time also. But this is critical because this is going to be the game board. And I really need to know how these are going to line up. Because if it works out great, you don't need to print the board. You just have your, let's see, this is Apprentice Blessing card. So this is how you would now play, which is so cool because now they're all the standard size, so all the traps and monsters, they all fit. And you know 5 cards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's your level progression. So you have the space for your cubes, just like before. There's your experience, and then you have for your health, which it's perfect. It's cool. And if you play on, this velvet or whatever, it will stay. I wouldn't play on a smooth table because yes, these are linen and they'll slide around, but on this felt, it sticks. It's great. You can put your actual cubes on it, and they don't move around. It's great. So could not be more happy to see this because all the information is very clear. You have your classes, you have your experience level, you have your health, all the attributes for the attack and defense. They all line up perfectly. And again, level 1, when you go to level 2, flip them over. It's just that simple. Now you're level 2, and you'll see that has a lot higher track for the health. So yeah, very happy. And the only reason I left the level is because I am thinking about working on higher level characters, level 3 and level 4. And that's going to go probably with the expansion that I'm working on. But that's the only reason I put these in there, because now that I know these work and how they look, I can use these cards as the game board. I'm just very happy with that. So here's the Paladin, level 1, level 2. I'll go through and make sure that everything lines up, but I did the cut pretty clean, which was hard to do because when you're looking at these, you have to, again, consider bleed and where they're going to cut and what's going to be cut off, how they're going to center it. But they did a really good job. I mean, 7 to 6. These are the boxes are pretty consistent. So Barbarian, here's your level 1 Barbarian. You flip it over. Level 2. Track for your levels, and 6 and 7 pretty consistent. Icons are nice and big, so they'll fit the dice, which I'm very happy with. So, could not be more happy with that. That's just very cool. And then obviously I have my regroup, so you can set that off to the side, for your dice. Had to have a regroup card. And then here's the Barbarian Rage, just like your Cleric's Blessing card. Has enough room. The dice will fit on it. They're a little smaller icons, but you can get 5 dice on it. And then we have, the last are the spell books. Now, I didn't want to have you print out cards. Remember the old ones? You had your cards. Well, hey, I'm making everything cards. So here's your spell books, right? These would go at the bottom, right below the board. And now I'm going to show these together. So you have level 1. All right, let's take these out of the way. So you have your level 1 spell cards, and the dice will still fit on them. Not a problem. Then of course you have your level 2. Now there has been a suggestion that it would be pretty long because when you're level 2 wizard you do have a lot, but that's not too bad. It's if you put the cards together, these two, it's pretty close to the original size, with these two. So, not outrageous with the extension. So again, very portable. And then the last cards are there's the camp and monster, random monster, which is cool. So those, like I said, fit the dice. Those you put at the top, right above the game board. And so here's the only ones I have to ask them to fix. So we see they just kind of messed up on one of these. But see, these are the puzzle cards for 3 of the quests. So 4, 5, and 6 have puzzle cards. And they're similar to traps in that they go on the left side of the board, and that's the asterisk, so it'll be at 5. And these are what need to be solved to actually solve the last part of the quest. And like in this one, any one from each one of these. So that just means you could have all 4 wizards. You could have a thief, a wizard, a fighter, and a barbarian. Or just as long as you have one from each, and then that would solve this within this puzzle. So must solve the puzzle, be able to drink from the pools. And again, we have the red altar, same thing, one of each. And these are very specific. They sit off to the side. Puzzle, they'll tell you exactly what they are. Puzzle 5, puzzle 6, puzzle 4. And they are just off to the side. So you know when you hit that quest, you just pull that up, put it on the side of the board, and that's kind of like a door or a trap that has to be solved to get through it. Now, this is the only thing that's an issue. All of the cards are just beautiful, and I just have to talk to them about this one card. I'll probably send them a picture, tell them that I just need this one fixed. But that was one card out of 162 cards. Could not be happier. I mean, these are just beautiful. And other than just making some tweaks to the 2 boss cards, which I probably don't even have to do, but I'm kind of a perfectionist and I really want those to look good when they're laid out. So I know what I need to do for the boss cards, and everything else really is centered very well. I mean, I could fix this victory points card just slightly, move it a little bit, but everything has got really good centering. The border's good. It lines up really nice. I'll have them fix this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this available to people, and they can buy the full set off Printer Studio. Hopefully you can discounts. When I purchased this, it was, I think, 162 cards was $47 and something cents, and then there was like $9 shipping, so $9.99. So it was like 57 bucks. Now I know, and I'm sorry that that's expensive. I'm not making any money on this. I'm trying to make this available to everyone, so they, one, don't have to go to Office Depot and print anything out. They can buy the cards, and they are literally ready to play. All you need to do, since you have the character cards making up the board, all you need to really print out for the game is the Bazaar, which I'm going to try and make this out of 4 cards, so you won't even need to print this out, and that may be in the next run. And the dungeon card phase. And again, I'm also going to try and put this into cards. I didn't do it on this one because I wanted to see how these cards came out. But so those two I'm going to try and set up as cards. But other than that, these are everything you need to play the game in card form. Very portable. I'm going to try and create tuck boxes. I've already got the tiles created and put up on Game Crafter, so when those come, I'll do another unboxing video to show how the tiles came out. And now you'll be able to buy the cards and the tiles, and you're ready to play. You won't have to get anything printed out. So again, this was an unboxing for Dungeon Hack the Dice game. These are the cards that I ordered through Printer Studio. Printer Studio did just an amazing job. I'm just so pleased. I just need to fix this one card and a couple of others, but the others are on me for centering, but this is the only one that is an actual correction that they need to do. But other than that, out of 162 cards, total A+. I mean, the graphics are great. The cards are great. They feel great in your hand. You don't even need to sleeve these if you don't want. I mean, that's how nice these cards are. So, thanks for watching. Again, my name is Joseph Propati. I'm the designer of Dungeon Hack, the dice game, and these are all the cards to be able to play Dungeon Hack the Dice game with all the standard cards. So very happy. I'll be putting the information up. Once I make the corrections, I'll be putting the information up on my data spot for my game on Board Game Geek, and that way everybody can order the cards through Printer Studios, and hopefully they'll put some discounts on there, so at least maybe you won't have to pay for shipping or get a deal. And then again, like I said, when I get my cards for the tiles, when I get the tiles for the dungeon tiles through Game Crafter, I'll be showing those too. So thanks again, and enjoy.